legalizing marijuana.
I suspect I would vote yes. And I would vote yes because I am seeing in this country too many lives being destroyed for nonviolent offenses.
I'd say it's bad. Medical marijuana is another thing, but I think it's bad, and I feel strongly about that.
Well, hang on. What about the states' right aspect of it if the people of Colorado decide?
If they vote for it, they vote for it. But, you know, they've got a lot of problems going on right now in Colorado, some big problems. But I think medical marijuana, 100%.
Voted in favor of legalizing marijuana in Massachusetts, and I believe we should legalize it nationally. Evidence indicates that blacks and whites use marijuana at about the same rates, but that African Americans are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession.
Largest cash crop is agriculturally? Marijuana. You know what is becoming one of the, we are likely to be, by the year 1995, totally self-sufficient. We're not going to worry about pulling down planes. We're going to have to worry about getting governors to go out in the mountainsides with flamethrowers with you next to them.
The problems the drug war has created, and I think it's created a problem for veterans with PTSD who want their doctors to be able to recommend. VA docs cannot do that. The MORE Act would fix that.
62% of all Americans are for legalization of marijuana. We just called for decriminalization, let each state decide, don't have federal enforcement in the states. And so I think this is something that is long overdue, and I would hope to see it happen. I would hope that the feds would take the heavy hand off and let each state decide to do what it wants to do.
You know, any drug issues rank pretty high for me. I've been laser focused on the opioid epidemic and the synthetic drug epidemic, which is related to that, and part of that is the synthetic marijuana. No, not yet, I should say. Am I beginning to evolve on the topic? Perhaps, but I'm taking into account everything. And I don't make decisions just to get reelected, because I don't think you should be here forever. And I make decisions based on what I think is right. And right now, I think there's still much more to be learned before we have full-scale federal legalization of marijuana.
Caucus, Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer, earlier this year you introduced H.R. 420. What would it do?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is to be able to normalize the way that cannabis is treated by the federal government. We have serious problems because the federal government classifies marijuana, cannabis, as a Schedule I controlled substance. It is clearly a false categorization. It's not highly addictive, and it does have medicinal purposes.
Yep.
Is legalization of marijuana an important topic for you as a new voter in the upcoming presidential election? Why or why not?
Yes, I believe it is because it is a safer alternative for alcohol, and nobody has ever died from overuse of marijuana. So if that becomes more popular than alcohol, we'll actually be safer and there will be less DWIs.
It's because I think marijuana helps with mental health, and mental health is as bad as it's ever been.
No, I don't think so, because I think there's more important topics that they could be talking about other than just marijuana.
Yes, because I believe that if marijuana was legalized at the federal level, a lot more people could receive the benefits of medical marijuana that help people with epilepsy, seizures, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I believe that the topic of marijuana is like a big topic, considering like our generation, everybody, well not everybody, but it's widely used, and the matter of whether it should be legalized or not is going to be big, and I think it's going to greatly impact our generation.
I was really surprised that a lot of them were voting yes. I know Bernie Sanders was voting yes and Elizabeth Warren was voting yes. And I think they're just trying to appeal to the younger generation, like the new voters.